How's it going, everybody? This L is back, and I know I said the TT Expo video would be out right now, but I needed to make a new video because it's already been 4 days, and I haven't posted anything new, so I'm going to do a shorter video. This was going to be a video that I wanted to make a little bit later, after I made a few more TT videos, but I want to talk about why no one plays Time Trial in Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Now, Time Trial is a mode where people go to improve at the game, or unlock a reward by completing a certain time, or even trying to beat, say, a staff ghost, like in F-Zero GX, they're a staff ghost. If you beat them, it's a really nice, hit of dopamine, things of that nature. And Crossworlds doesn't have that. So, I want to get into the idea of what are the main reasons why no one wants to play Time Trial in Crossworlds? And I think I have a few specific ideas as to why no one wants to even touch this mode, or let alone even pursue it further than the S ranks. And let's get into that real quick. Let's talk about why Time Trial in Sonic Racing Crossworlds is very underappreciated and very underplayed. Now, before we get into what I believe are the biggest reasons why Time Trial is being held back as a game mode, I want to just state this right now. This is not to come at people or say, there's a ton of things wrong with the game. This isn't meant to be like a doomer thing. This isn't me trying to be like, oh, Crossworlds effing sucks. This game is terrible. No, this is trying to find out why I believe Time Trial as a game mode in its entirety is just very underplayed. This is nothing that has to do with anything bad. Now, let's get started with this. I believe one of the biggest reasons why Time Trial itself is very underplayed is genuinely the fact there's very few rewards. Let's put this in perspective. When you're going for the A ranks, you have a few rewards. You have achievements, you have the banners, which are also called titles. I just call them banners because I'm stupid. And you have the music. When you complete all these things with your A ranks, you go for the S ranks, right? Not necessarily. The problem with going for the S ranks on these tracks is the fact there's no incentive. What do I mean by this? So let's put it this way. The S ranks on each track only leads to you getting 2 banners, if I'm correct. Maybe it's just 1, I don't remember. But you get 1 or 2 banners and no other recognition. There's just none. I think this is a huge problem for S ranks, and let alone just Time Trial in general. There's nothing showcasing that you put the effort in as a player to improve at the game and play these tracks to fundamentally learn them to the point that you are a better player overall. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to get a reward, obviously, but I feel like there's something missing. There's not enough substance to Time Trial itself to give you a reward. I feel like one of the biggest things that could easily fix this is by providing a badge system. This was not my idea, but it was one of my friend's ideas, and I genuinely think that providing a badge system could actually help a lot of this. Let's say you get all the S ranks. You get a little badge by your profile when people look at you on World Match that says, hey, this guy did all the S rank TTs. I think that'd be pretty cool. It'd be something you don't have to equip. It automatically is equipped for you, and it showcases you have put the effort in to actually practice the game and improve at the game. I think it's pretty cool. This would give players the incentive to go for S ranks, and then if you want to go for top hundreds, you could have another badge that showcases that you've hit top hundreds numerous times or multiple top hundreds, or you are a top 100 time trialer. This would be cool. Same thing if you got a world record before. You could have a world record holder badge or something like that. I think these badges could be a really good incentive to play Time Trial, but I don't know how impactful they would be long term. But I think it would help a lot of the incentive for trying to play Time Trial as a mode. Even just providing more music for the jukebox and then improving the jukebox system would easily incentivize people to go for S ranks. I think that's something that is very, very underutilized is the jukebox systems, and it's very underdeveloped. I think if the developers would actually develop it further and improve upon the jukebox system, I think adding more music to Time Trial and making it gated behind S ranks where it's something that you got to practice, and the S rank times aren't too hard besides for Bikini Bottom, but thankfully that doesn't count towards the jukebox music. I think it would really help Time Trial and really incentivize players to improve at Time Trial. Next, let's talk about the skill-based shortcuts. Now, this game only has a few select skill-based shortcuts, and what do I mean by skill-based? I'm talking about shortcuts such as Coral Cut, the 2 cuts on Crystal Mine, the Bikini Bottom Dock Merge, even though everyone hates it. You have Metal Harbor's End Cut, you have Donpa Cut, and there's probably a couple others that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but these are cuts that you have to set up lines for in advance or understand the underlying mechanics of the track, such as if there's something that's going to be time gated from you getting there too slowly, or not fully setting up a line because you didn't get a level 2 drift boost off beforehand, things of that nature. I think if we have more shortcuts like this in the game, it would actually incentivize players to go to each individual track to practice each individual shortcut, because most shortcuts really just at the end of the day are pop a boost item, drift at a specific angle, like do a 50% soft drift or 50% hard drift, whatever you want to call it. Just do some kind of drift. If you're going to go wide, let go of accelerator or brake tap like once or twice and you'll fix your line and boom, that's it. It feels like the game is a little too low for the skill ceiling as much as it is for the low skill floor. Like, it's great that we have a low skill floor in a low barrier of entry, but the problem is the skill ceiling really isn't that high. And this leads into the next issue, which is the lack of mechanics in the game. Because the skill floor is so low and the skill ceiling is so low with this game, the only things you're really going to be improving are your lines, your item play, and your shortcut taking. That's really just the three major things that you're going to be improving in this game, because the only tech we have is snap drifting. And I want to bring up a couple other games such as F-Zero GX and Mario Kart World. Now, F-Zero GX is a game that's been out for a long time, let's put it that way, and it has a lot of techs. There is shift boosting, there's what's called a death finish, there is what is known as momentum throttle sliding, there is what is called, I think it's momentum throttle boosting. There's so many things to F-Zero GX, and there's so many mechanics that you can actually practice and improve upon to get really good times, go extremely fast, and really set yourself up to become a much better player. Whereas in Crossworlds, we don't have that. And because we don't have that, it feels like all we have to do is just practice one mechanic, and then when we get that mechanic down, it just comes down to simple things such as lines, item play, and positional awareness. And let's talk about Mario Kart World, which is the direct competitor to Crossworlds. Crossworlds has one core mechanic, like I stated before, which is snap drifting. Mario Kart World has its whole trick system and its jump system, right? Where you were able to jump off the ground and you're able to go onto a wall. You can wall ride, you can then jump off a wall, trick off of like poles, trees, all these things. And every shortcut in that game has some variation of pressing buttons in a specific order or different orders. And you have to understand how to string everything together. And it can change based on situation on the fly. Like, it's something that you have to keep in the back of your head at every waking moment. And you have to really be thinking about consistently. This is something that is very, very important, genuinely, and it's something that you have to be really thinking about and really practice. But Crossworlds doesn't have that, and because Crossworlds doesn't have anything that you have to truly practice for, it feels like we have a lack of skill-based mechanics and skill-based shortcuts, because with good mechanics and really interesting mechanics leads into new shortcuts, but the problem is since we don't have interesting mechanics, we can't really lead into interesting shortcuts, and because we can't lead into interesting shortcuts, why would you practice in time trial for either of those, right? I think that's a huge problem with the game, genuinely, for time trial related reasons. This isn't a problem for casual related reasons because it does make the barrier for entry so easy for new players to get in and just play the game and have fun, which is perfectly fine. But in terms of the time trial game mode, it feels like there's not enough substance to actually practice and put into play outside of just practicing your lines and drift boost timings. And this can be reflected with a lot of the online play and a lot of the better players of the game, but I digress. Next, another big reason why I legitimately think time trial is not played is genuinely the fact there's no friend leaderboard. The fact that we don't have a friend leaderboard where we can see each other's times if you're friends with them, like how we have it with World Match and Legend Comp and Festival for that matter, we can see our friends' ranking. We can see their points, we can see how much they've played based on the amount of points they have, we can see what Legend rank they are, what Legend Comp rank they are. It's really nice, and it genuinely incentivizes players to actually look further into what your friends are doing and then try to improve so that way you can be with them or even excel higher than them. And these are things that I think is what makes World Match, Legend Comp, and Festival actually enjoyable outside of the faults of those modes. It at least incentivizes players to actually really try to play the game more and to get better with so that they can play with their friends consistently or just try to surpass them genuinely. And a friend leaderboard in time trial would genuinely fix this issue, because with a friend leaderboard in time trial, you can have your friends versus your time trial ghost, which if it's not a top 100 time, you're able to verse that ghost. It could literally be a top 1000 time. Your friend could actually verse it, see what you're doing wrong or see what they're doing wrong compared to you and try to improve upon their time. You'll go see your friend's time and then you'll go practice again instead. It's like with Neon White, right? Neon White has a very, very fun time trial mode, in quotations, because it's a speedrunning game and you're able to actually see your friends' times. And because you're able to see your friends' times, you can actually practice to improve and beat their times and really show your skill off as a player. And that's what I'm hoping that in the near future, at least with time trial, because I would love to go into time trial and practice against my friends' times to be able to show them, hey, maybe you're doing this wrong, or they can practice against my ghost and see, oh, he's doing this, oh, he's doing that. That'd be fantastic. It would genuinely be one of the best additions additions to the game and one of the most healthy additions. And even if you're not a full competitive player, even as a casual competitive player that just wants to beat your friends and surpass them, this would be an excellent addition to the game for everyone. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. Now, going on to the fifth reason, one of the biggest things with time trial is it's split between two speed tiers, which is Sonic Speed and then Supersonic Speed, which is something you cannot play. Supersonic Speed is a mode that you're basically going about like 40 speed faster than your base speed. So instead of like 197, you're going at like 242, whatever it is. And that's the thing, because you're going so much faster in this mode, it's a whole different playing field. There's so much more to learn. It actually has a little more in depth to it than Sonic Speed. But the thing is, why would you go play something that is completely different than just playing Sonic Speed, which is in Festival to some degree, which is in Legend Comp, which is in competitive itself, which is in World Match, and even in friend lobbies? You're not able to play Supersonic Speed anywhere, and it feels weird. Like, yeah, you can go play in Grand Prix, but like, after you play in Grand Prix for the few times they have to, what's the point? You don't need to practice every track on Supersonic Speed. It's a waste of time. And it's a shame because Supersonic Speed actually is very thrilling. It has a huge thrill factor to it, genuinely. And there's so much you can actually improve upon because there are techniques that actually matter in Supersonic Speed way more than in Sonic Speed, such as acceleration releasing, especially on water sections. If you know what you're doing on water sections, you accel release and you can make so much headway, just that one little thing, that it can lead you to saving seconds on a time, which is absolutely amazing. I think another big reason why Supersonic Speed isn't incentivized anyways is the fact that it just feels like, outside of the fact that there's no reason to play it, there's, again, a lack of rewards, and this loops back to the fact that there's just a lack of rewards itself, and there's no friend leaderboard. It all loops into each other. And I really hope that in the future we see a Legend Comp that does play with Supersonic Speed as its primary speed tier, or even just opening up a festival that's in Supersonic Speed just for fun. Just give us something to do with Supersonic Speed to make people look at the speed tier a little bit more in depth and really give it a chance to shine. I think that would be fantastic for not only time trial itself, but for Supersonic Speed as a speed tier itself as well. The final thing that I would like to talk about for this video, and again, I know this is short, it is the whole fact that time trial does not translate online unless you are playing very particularly. What do I mean by particularly? So, time trial, if you are not on a build such as Ultimate Charge, does not translate online at all. This is because items and slipstream are so omnipresent and so omnipotent that you cannot get away from them. Legend Comp Round 3, for example, and Legend Comp Round 2, for example, let's put these two Legend Comps on the table. What is the number one thing that has been the most problematic between these two comps? The two most problematic things for Legend Comp 2 was the items, and it showcased how problematic the items are, especially hard bagging for really solid items. And Legend Comp 3 has very, very heavily exacerbated how problematic slipstream has been for a long time. It's something I've known of since literally like Legend Comp 1, and a lot of other players have as well. But many people are just now getting their toes dipped into to see how brutal slipstreaming actually is and how problematic it actually is. And this is something that people have come to realize, like, even when you're playing, like, you have players like Commander Buzzo and Expanzo and players like this that literally have to wisp laser every match in Legend Comp if they want to have a consistent way to win, because of the fact that these players are able to just get hit, and because they don't fall under the slipstream cap of 175 speed minimum that you have to hit because of ring game boost and all these other multiplier stacking, they just keep sticking on you like glue. And because of that, you have to find a way to soft bag or do something, and it just makes it to where, like, you're basically always stuck in an infinite feedback loop of, oh, if I front run I get hit, then I lose, but if I am playing Ultimate Charge, then I get to hold Wisp Laser until end of race, I get a solid secure top 3 guaranteed, whatever, right? And this is something that just feels bad, is the fact that you can take the best lines in the game, but because slipstream is so problematic and it's so strong and it has such a wide range and such a long range for that matter, you can just take a worse line and still follow these players because you're going 25 speed faster than they are. And even if they're at max speed on everything, if you're running a power car and you're ring gain boosting off of them because of slipstream bounty, ring gain boost 2, and you're slipstreaming, you're faster than them because you're going at 264 speed, 265 speed, somewhere in that range. You're literally going supersonic levels of speed, which is something that is not matchable outside of Monster Truck. And even then, Monster Truck in Legend Comp 3 has shown you cannot catch some of these people that are slipstreaming because of ring game boost unless you're running it yourself. And even then, the fact that they're out running Monster Truck just showcases how much more problematic slipstream truly is for the game itself. And because of that, a lot of it is like, why would you play time trial to practice your lines when you can just slipstream off someone and then you bag your items such as laser and wisp to a solid position, take the shortcut with wisp or protect your laser using the wisp, and then laser at the end of the race and boom, you're done. And this even stems to Ultimate Charge, because Ultimate Charge is so strong, you're able to just kind of hold whatever item you so choose as long as you know what you're doing. And because of that, you don't have to have the best lines in the game. You just have to make sure that you're not getting hit at all or nearly as much as everyone else. And because everyone else is getting hit more than you, then you can make a lot of headway. And because of that, your lines don't matter a super heavy amount, unlike if you were playing Time Trial. But they still matter, obviously. I'm not saying that they don't, but that's the thing. It feels like there's a lot of factors that are working against playing Time Trial because of the fact that there are certain fundamental issues with the game, such as, like I stated, slipstream, the items, and gadgets. Again, I know this video is a little shorter, and I know this is a very abrupt way to end this, but I would just like to get your thoughts on what you think is wrong with Time Trial as a game mode. Why do you think Time Trial is very underplayed? Why do you think it's underappreciated? Do you think I provided the correct reasons as to why I think Time Trial is underappreciated, underplayed? Or do you think I missed a few things? I would like to give you guys one question for the end of this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much. But I got one question for you. What is your favorite and least favorite track to play or Time Trial? If you've played Time Trial and you've played it a fair bit, please tell me what your least favorite and favorite main track and Crossworld are to play. I would like to see what you guys' thoughts are on these tracks, because in the near future, once I get the Expo video out, I will be working on other videos for Time Trial going forward, and I would like to try and slowly work around getting to the hardest or most annoying tracks for you guys. Get those out of the way first, and then we can do the easier ones later if it's necessary. I would like to get Expo, Kraken in that order. If you guys have a different Time Trial you'd like me to do before I do Kraken, just let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great one. Sorry for the extended outro. I'll catch you guys in the Expo video.